Namaste people, I am Anmol Sarkar. So if you have seen my introduction video, you guys must have an idea about who I am and what I am trying to do and what this channel is all about. And if you have not seen that video, please go and watch that video. For Facebook, I'll share the link in the comment section, and for YouTube in the description below. So please watch that video and enjoy this video as well. And I would like to apologize for taking a 2-3 days gap as I was not feeling well. So from today the series will continue as usual. So without wasting any further time, let's start. So if you have seen my last video, you guys must have known that how I was talking about this 2006 where the Dravidian Christianity movement became an international movement and how it gained political support from the US state officials and all that kind of things. Now after that, when it was a huge success in 2007, in today's video in 2007 also, a second international conference on the history of early Christianity in India, okay, was conducted in Chennai. Okay, so now see what happened. The success of the New York conference, as I've said in last to last video, that how 2005 New York conference was held and how many senators like Hillary Clinton attended it and wrote about it and etc. So this massive success of 2005 New York conference led to the second conference on early Indian Christianity in 2007 in Chennai. Okay, so what was the theme of this conference was many scholars and Dravidianist politicians and intellectuals assembled here, and they started glorifying each other's paper. Means it is like an echo chamber where 100 people are glorifying each other's work and making it into an political ideology. Okay, so this happened. Okay, so one of the example is a person known as Erza Saruganam. Okay, Erza Saruganam, who is the founder of Evangelical Church in India, wrote an article in the conference souvenir titled Impact of Christianity on the Belief Systems Cultural Heritage of India. Okay, this is the title. So this title states that, and I quote, it is a well accepted scholarship that it was Vedanta Vyasa, a Dravidian scholar, who reduced into writing the oral traditions of Vedas and Upanishads. According to Dr. Devianagam and other Oriental scholars, Vedanta Vyasa was responsible for spreading Dravidian form of Christianity in India. Vyasa approved of the rituals like offering incense, sacrifice and prayers found in the course of the Semitic Dravidian religions. Okay, now as I have said, their strategy, how they are trying to link Christianity to all that kind of thing, this is what happened. It was just an echo chamber, means where everyone started just praising each other's work and all. So this became a huge success. Now in this conference, one more thing, very important thing happened. In this conference, Shakti becomes a Holy Ghost. Now people who don't know who Shakti is a divine form of spirituality in India. When you see that Shiva and Shakti is the form of the entire universe, where Shakti or the feminine form of divine is projected in the Indian landscape, and they are worshipped as divine and things. So to denigrate that divine form, Shakti, they made Shakti into an Holy Ghost. Means Shakti is a ghost which is imaginary, so she did not exist. Okay, so there were three basic principles they wanted to establish in this concept. Is first, that the first goal is to decouple Tantra and related feminine empowerment away from Hinduism and identified with Dravidian tribalism. Okay, so basically they wanted to take all the things which empowered women or which was related to women empowerment in the Hindu culture or the Indian society as a whole, and they wanted to decouple it and wanted to say that this was related to Christianity and all. This breakup of Hinduism then makes vulnerable to further manipulation. Like when they simply degrade the feminine form, all the females in the Indian society feel insecure. So from here, the modern day feminism came into existence, where they claim that women in India are suppressed and all this kind of things. Whatever nonsense practices which is going on, in the name of patriarchy. It is actually given by these Deviyanagam and these Christian scholars so that they can manipulate the feminine form of India, and they can project it as that India doesn't respect women and all these kind of things. We shall make a different video on that for till then. And the third point is the next project to transform and assimilate components of Hinduism, Tantra and Shakti into Christianity. So basically, if you see Christianity, you won't see any feminine form of divine there. They only have one God, that is, and his messenger known as Jesus, who is a man by whatever nature he has. Okay, so there is no feminine form of any divinity in Christianity. So to fulfill that gap, they simply degraded Shakti as a holy ghost and they tried to appropriate into Christianity, and then they said that India doesn't respect women and all this kind of feminist cultures came into landscape and all. So this is what happened. Okay, so there is another version of which patronized this methodology, okay, of exporting Dravidianism from India and all the Hindu cultures from India. Okay, so one of the passages quotes that in the beginning of was the Tamil tantric Dravidian Kali, the goddess Kali he is talking about, who was eventually suspended by the official one. If you want to fully grasp her secret Dravidian significance, you must notice that all the heads, all the corpses are male. Now see how they are degrading feminine form of goddesses and trying to introduce patriarchy into the picture. Male and have either white or swarthy complexion. Okay, now see again how this racism comes into this picture. No woman, no dark skinned people. This is what they tried to establish. The Alpino Mediterranean were mixed with the indigenous origin, lived in the hot Indian tropical climate and dark skin like Dravidians, the current day South Indians he is talking about. But their northern enemies were pale faces. See how racism is coming into the Indian landscape. Okay. Now further it states that Kali is therefore an emanation of good mother, a manifestation of ire towards her enemies. Now who were the enemies of Dravidian, if not fearful Aryans? Kali thus incarnates hatred for Aryans, and in order to better fight and crush them, she is heavily armed with Dravidian favorite weapons except the trident, which is Shiva's prerogative. Okay, means they are trying to say that Kali is extensively South Indians and she incited the South Indians against the North Indians. Absolutely bullshit theory, because if you go to the eastern part of India in West Bengal, there you will find many temples of goddess Kali, as a famous form of Mother Kali is Kamakha Devi. So this completely destroys the theory that goddess Kali was especially South Indian. She tried to incite against North Indians. Absolute nonsense. Please don't fall into this trap. So this is what happened in 2007 conference as well. So this was it for today, guys. In tomorrow's video, we shall see the first conference on religion of Tamils in 2008. Till then, enjoy this video.